I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, the place where you come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and overall positive message. I'm your host, DJ. And man, today after I left the gym, chest and triceps today. After I left the gym, came home, took a shower, and I was just kind of relaxing in the bed. I was just like, man, my body is my arms are so sore, my chest is sore. And it just got me to thinking, like, man, I remember just a year ago going having those same feelings and hating it. Like, I hated how sore I was. I hated how I felt after leg day, how it hurt to sit down, how it hurt to squat, how it hurt going up and down stairs, how much it hurt, like I said, sitting down, getting up from a chair, and like shoulders, man. When I tell y'all, I know people who are listening won't be, so I'm gonna do my best to give as much of a visual as I can, visual aid as I can for the people who are listening. But I remember when after my very first day of doing shoulders, I had to lean up against a wall when I was trying to wash in the shower. I had to lean up against the wall to do my best to try to wash my upper back because my shoulders hurt that much, like lifting my arm hurt that much. So I couldn't just regularly, wash my back. I literally had to prop my arm on the wall of the shower. Like again, I know the people listening won't be able to hear it. I will be able to see it, but I had to literally like lean up against the wall, prop my arm up to try to wash my back. That's how sore I was, and I hated it. I hated feeling sore, but I hadn't used those muscles in forever. So almost every single day I felt sore because I'm using these muscles for the first time. So everything ached. I remember a time when literally my quads, um, shoulders, biceps, triceps, just everything hurt. I remember that was probably like the worst night of sleep that I have ever gotten in my life because it hurt to move. So I like to sleep on my stomach. So every time I would move, or on my side, and every time I move from side to side, it would destroy. It just, man, it took forever to go to sleep because I was in so much pain. But now I'm in a place now where it's like that's what I want because now I understand that that pain is just my muscle fibers tearing and starting to grow. So I understand that that soreness leads to growth, and so it's so crazy to be in a place now where I'm chasing that, because I understand that's a part of my process, that's a part of growth. And then it got me to thinking, like, man, how many times in life do we run from that discomfort? Do we run from that pain? Do we run from that soreness? But that same thing that we're running from is the exact thing that we need to go through to get to the growth that we want, to get to the person that we want to be, the mentality that we want to have, the body that we want to have. We have to go through pain. We have to go through a growing process. And a part of that process, there's going to be some type of pain. There's going to be some type of discomfort. There's going to be some type of uneasiness in everything that we do because we're trying to elevate. We're trying to go to new levels. We're trying to be more than what we've been. We're trying to do things that we've never done before, get to places we've never been before. And a part of all of that process is growing pains. A part of that process is being sore, is, trying new things, seeing what works for you, what doesn't. I'm in the gym plenty of times and I'm figuring out what works for me. Chest days for me are one of my hardest days because that's where I feel, in my personal opinion, where I have the least amount of growth, where I have to work twice as hard because I'm not seeing the growth that I'm seeing with my shoulder or with my back or with my quads, hamstrings. I'm seeing way more growth, or at least a more rapid growth in those areas than I am with my chest. So, chest days, I try to go a little harder. And so to feel that that soreness, in my chest and in my triceps, it's like, okay, starting to get there. It's a part of the process. And it just, I don't know, it just kind of, it just really amazed me to be in a space now where again, I used to run from the idea of the soreness when I was trying to, especially on days when I wasn't with my trainer. I'm trying to go as easy or as light as I possibly can. Whereas now it's like I'm trying to challenge myself to get better and to do more and to figure out, where my limits are, as opposed to before. It's just kind of like I'm trying to skate. I'm trying to do everything the lightest and the easiest way possible. And what I realized was that I'm not making the gains that I want to make. I'm not making the leaps and bounds that I want to make. I'm not the weight, not just my not just my body weight, but the weight that I'm pressing. They're not really moving. I'm still struggling at the same weights, both again my physical weight and the weights in the gym. I'm kind of struggling, so I need to. And I just had to realize, I had to take accountability. I had to be accountable for, hey, me just doing the bare minimum isn't going to get me where I need to be. Me doing the bare minimum is literally going to keep me where I am. And I know I don't like where I am. I want to be in a better place. So I have to now make that decision to push a little harder. I have to make that decision to start um testing my limits, and yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to be painful. Yes, I'm going to be sore, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. But I had to realize that I had to understand that the same thing that I'm running from, the same thing that I'm trying to fight against, the same thing that I'm trying to stay away from is the exact thing that I need to get to where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find every other way possible, every other shortcut, every easy route. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there aren't some things that helped me, but at some point it stopped helping. So at some point I had to go through the door that I had been avoiding, which is, I gotta bring more intensity to my workouts. I got to be way more intentional with my workouts. I have to get the weight up with my workouts. I have to fight through the pain of certain workouts because certain workouts are going to stretch certain muscles, and you know what I'm saying. And I have to be okay with that, because again, it's just pain because I'm not used to using these muscles, or I'm used to, like, when I do it, I'm trying to go as light as possible, and it's just not getting me the results that I want. So I have to go up in weight. I have to go up in reps. I have to go up with my intensity and my intention. So I started looking at more videos to see, the proper ways to lift, the proper ways to do these techniques. So that way if I'm trying to hit more chest, there's certain ways that I have to do certain exercises to try to take my shoulders out of the lift as much as possible, out of the movement as much as possible, or vice versa. If I'm trying to work on my shoulders, there's certain things that I can do to take my chest out of it as much as possible. So just trying to figure those things out. And then as you start to make those tweaks and you start to make those adjustments, you start to feel it. You know what I'm saying? You start to feel it more in your shoulder than you do your chest, or you start to feel it more in your chest than you do your shoulder, or you start to feel it more in your back than you do your bicep, whatever the case may be. So, excuse me, so again, once I got intentional about increasing my intensity, yes, the soreness came, yes, the pain came, but so did growth. Again, on the scale and in the weight room, you know what I'm saying? I'm lifting more and I'm burning more fat now. But it came once I realized, okay, I have to go through the pain. I have to quit running from it. I have to quit trying to avoid it. I have to quit trying to find ways to make the workout easier. Like, there's not going to always be a shortcut. At some point, I just have to go through what I have to go through to get to where I want to be. And one of the things that I had to realize that I got to go through is the soreness. The soreness is a part of the game. The soreness is a part of the process. You want to be sore. You want to feel that you worked out. You don't want to go and do a 30, 45-minute workout, an hour workout and feel nothing. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset before, because I just didn't like the way how sore I was. I was completely sore. So, and I also didn't realize, it's important to, get your rest and things like that. So it was a lot of things that in the beginning I did not understand about working out. I didn't understand about muscle growth. I didn't understand about making sure that I'm getting the proper rest. There was so many things that I just didn't understand that, again, you'll understand more with time. So it's taking time for me to understand that, hey, my body needs rest, my muscles need rest. I need to eat the right things to help with recovery. Recovery is a big thing as well. That'll help with the soreness, being able to recover in the right ways. So I had to learn all of those things. So now that I know that I need to rest and I need to make sure I'm eating the right things to recover, make sure that I'm doing the right things to feed my muscles and to help my growth and things like that, I have a more of a complete understanding, or just a more complete understanding. Not saying it's completed, not saying I know everything, but it's just way more complete now than what it was when I first started, because there were things that I wasn't doing that I should have been doing, things that I was doing that I shouldn't have been doing. So I've learned so much in the process. So it's helped me. So yes, I'm still sore, but it doesn't last as long because I'm doing better with my rest and recovery. So again, it's just you understand more as you do more, research, and realizing, like, it was also me realizing that this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, as far as the gym. And I know when I first started, that thought used to scare and exhaust me. The thought of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get up every single day and go to the gym to work out, cardio, this, that, you know what I'm saying? That was like the mindset. So when I thought about it, sometimes it would just kind of give me like this feeling of dread, this feeling of, oh my gosh, or whatever the case may be, because I'm looking at it from this negative space. Because again, like, first of all, I wasn't, obviously, in the beginning, I'm not seeing results just yet, and I'm feeling this pain. So it's like everything hurt, so, because everything was new, every day that we did a workout, it was new. I had zero conditioning, so I was tired almost after the first workout, maybe even after the first set. I'm like, depending on what it is, anything to do with leg day, after the first set, I was ready to be done. So leg days, it felt like some days I would get in my car outside the gym and just, I didn't want to drive. It was like, it hurt to drive, it hurt to do everything. Like, once I sat down in my car, it was just like, I don't want to do anything else. And so those leg days in the beginning were the worst days for me, because that's what I felt the most, because I felt it everywhere. I felt it when I walked. I felt it when, like I said, I went up and down stairs. I felt it when I sat down in a chair, when I stood up from a chair, when I had to step over things, stepping into the tub. I felt it every single step. I felt how much pain I was in and how sore it was, but I wasn't understanding, like, this is a good thing. Your muscles are growing, but I also didn't care, what I'm saying, at the time, because I didn't have the understanding. But now my mindset is, man, I get to go to the gym. I'm blessed enough to be able to go to the gym. One, because I'm seeing the results. Other people are seeing the results, and now the pain doesn't last as long, and it's not as intense, because again, I'm learning how to recover and rest a lot better. So my view on the gym has changed. There will be times where it's kind of like, oh man, let me try to get through going to the gym for 2 weeks to give myself an excuse of a day, to where now it's kind of like, man, I'm trying to see if I can go 3 months in a row without missing a day, 4 months in a row, how long I can go without missing a day. I think I just made 2 months, or I think Saturday made 2 months. I don't know, but I think I just hit 2 months of, going without missing a day. Um, so, that's just, so my mindset has completely changed. So that's just thinking about where I was to where I am now, and how much it has changed. It just amazes me how much I've grown, how much my mindset has changed. And a lot of it is just because I know way more now. You know what I'm saying? I was going into it completely blind. It was literally just, hey, my mindset at the time when I first started was, I still potentially have a chance to get this job making 10 more dollars an hour than what I'm making. I just need to get my blood pressure down. So let me get in this gym. Let me get with this trainer. Let me try to lose a couple pounds to see if I can get my weight down, to see if, I mean, to get my blood pressure down, to see if I'm able to qualify for the job. And I think once I just let go of the idea of the job, number one, it hurt, like to have to mentally let go of this job, let go of this opportunity, that hurt. And two, it put me in like a place where I was very depressed. I think I've talked about it on here, but I was in a deep depression, and the crazy thing was I didn't even know that I was in a depression. It wasn't until I went to my therapy session and we were talking about it, and she could see how visibly frustrated I was getting. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really talk about it, with anybody. It was just kind of like I just kept it to myself, kept it bottled up. And it was just like once with her and I started talking about it, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I am way more upset about it. Has affected me way more than I thought that it did. Because I honestly, in my heart of heart, thought that I was over it. I thought it was just like, okay, it just I missed out on the opportunity, cool. But it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that, like, that may have been surface level, but deep down, it was way more than that. Because it was just like, in my mind, it was like, I'll never get that opportunity again. I'll never get that chance again. I'll never get a chance to make that type of money again. So it was like the worst thing that could have ever happened, in my mind at the time. So now add that. So that's my mentality. Now add on the top of that, every single day I gotta go to the gym and get beat up. You know what I'm saying? It was a rough time in my life. And so it was just bad, you know what I'm saying? But what I will say, because I talk about building healthy habits, building discipline. That's where discipline comes in, because I had no motivation to go to the gym. I had no motivation to keep trying to lose weight, because I finally let go of the idea that I'm going to get this job. I had to let it go because they couldn't keep that spot open forever for me to get my blood pressure down low enough to pass the physical. You know what I'm saying? At some point, they were going to have to say, hey, we got to give this to the next person. And so once I kind of wrapped my head around the fact that I'm not going to get it, that put me in a bad space mentally. But I was disciplined enough. Well, let me not, because I don't want to put it all on me. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I had a trainer, let me be real with myself. The fact that I had a trainer, and my trainer was showing up every single day to be there for me, to teach me, to help me. That's what also kept me going, is because it isn't just me. Like, if I would have been doing it without a trainer, I probably would have stopped. Just being real with myself, being honest with y'all, I probably would have stopped. So the fact that I had a trainer who was getting up in the morning, you know, leaving the responsibility of, helping out her family, like what she would normally do if she wasn't getting up so early to come be with me. She could still be in mommy mode and wife mode and all that stuff. So the fact that she was putting all that to the side to get there on time to help me, that was like, okay, I have to do the same for her. I have to show up for her. You know what I'm saying? So she helped me with the discipline to the point now where we stopped, I want to say, in July, maybe August. So from August till now, I've been doing it on my own and I've been showing up. But she helped me to build my foundation, my understanding of what it is to come to the gym, what I need to expect, what my workout splits need to look like, things like that. She helped me build that foundation. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have stuck with it, especially once I let go of the idea of getting that job mentally. And then, well, once I realized that I had to let the job go, and then going through that therapy session, those two things made me realize that, okay, this is hitting me way harder than I thought, because I think having the therapy session and me saying it out loud to somebody really just made it real. Like, okay, it really is done. Like, I knew it was done, but I guess in my mind, me not saying it out loud to other people was kind of like, I guess maybe, I don't even know how to explain it, but in my head, it was giving me this false sense of, okay, but maybe there's still this small chance. And then I think, like, me saying it to my therapist really just kind of put it into perspective, really kind of gave me that crystal clear. clarity moment of nope, that's it. That opportunity is done. And so it just kind of it was it I don't even know how to put it, because on one hand I want to say it was therapeutic, but on the other hand I got to admit that it definitely put me in a bad mental space at the time. Of like, at the end of that conversation, I was definitely in a way worse mental space than I was at the beginning of it. Because at the beginning of it, I still had my rose colored glasses. I still had those rose colored glasses on, thinking, okay, in the back of my head, subconsciously, I'm still thinking like maybe there's a little bit of a chance they might call me and be like, hey, we want to give you one more time to come in and test to see if you pass. But I think that when I finally just had the conversation, we talked about it, I was able to just kind of vent my frustration. And she was just telling me, hey, it's okay to be upset. This is something so fresh for you. You haven't even had a whole week to sit on the idea that you're losing out on whatever it is that you're losing out on. It's okay to be upset, but I just need you not to stay in it. I need you not to let this consume you like how you normally do. You normally let the things that when the things don't go your way, you let that take over and you let that control you. And now you get in your head like it's you have a bad life when it's just an unfortunate moment. Or there's something good that's coming out of this, which is you're getting your health in order, you know what I'm saying? Which was something good, but again, at the time it wasn't something that I wanted to hear. But so I say all of that just to say, like at that time, man. So now, in the mental space that I was in at the time, along with the pain and the physically getting beat up in the gym, man, I was. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, especially when on because I only saw my trainer 3 days a week. So those 2 days I didn't see her, man, I was trying to go light, man. I was trying to go light. I wasn't really pushing because it's like I'm not trying to feel this pain. And then at some point something switched. I think I watched a video where it was just where the guy was literally just breaking down what the soreness is. That's your muscles tearing apart. They're reforming, they're becoming stronger. So you want to feel that, and it's just like, okay, that's what. And so it's just like, I don't know, just watching that video, something clicked for me. And it was just like, ever since then, I'm trying to figure out how to feel that again. So when I do feel it, when I'm exercising and I'm feeling that soreness, or I'm feeling that burn in the muscle group that I'm working, it's like something about that now just feels like an accomplishment. Something about that feels good. It feels like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So it gives me a sense of pride, a sense of joy when I get home after I've taken my shower and I'm just sitting here chilling, and I feel it in whatever area I was working. I start to feel it when I do certain moves, or if I'm just completely still and I just feel the soreness in my shoulder or in my biceps, whatever the case may be. It makes me feel good. Like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing what I need to be doing to get to where I'm supposed to be. And I guess my message for you guys is, man, stop running from that pain, stop running from that whatever it is that you got to go through, that discomfort that you have to go through. We all have to go through this period of discomfort, especially if you're trying to do something new, if you're trying to do something you've never done before. That's a part of the process. That's a part of those growing pains that people talk about. We have to go through it. So yes, you may be getting ready to try to move into another field, as far as work. And this field may be way more, may use way more brain power than you've had to use, or vice versa. You may have been, your jobs previous may have been more about using your brain, whereas now you're going into something that's more physically taxing, or vice versa. But it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to go through it. Your body's going to have to adjust to these new things. Your mind is going to have to adjust to these new things. But don't be afraid of it, because there's growth on the other side of that pain. There's growth on the other side of that discomfort. Whatever it is that you have to go through it and understand that there's growth on the other side. And I get it. A lot of our natural instincts are to try to find a shortcut, try to find the easy way, try to find any little thing that's going to help us. And I'm not saying there aren't things that'll help. There are things that'll help, but at some point, you're just going to have to walk through that door. and go through whatever it is that you got to go through to get to the other side, because sometimes we delay it and we just extend our suffering. We extend how long we're going to have to wait, to get on the other side, because we're taking so long to just go through the door or go through the path or whatever it is that you got to go through. Like, I understand. Trust me, I'm not sitting here being a hypocrite. I completely understand how annoying, how frustrating, how hard, being uncomfortable, being in pain, um, being the new person, being the weak, the quote unquote weak link on the team is, because you're new and you don't understand everything. But that's a growing process. I think also you have to be okay. I know I saw a quote that says something like, you have to be okay with sucking at something, especially when you start. I can't remember how they worded it, but you have to be okay with, especially when you're trying something new, you have to be okay with the fact that you may not be good at it at first. Doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. You will get better at it. But it's okay that you suck at first. It's okay that you're not very good at first. It's okay that you struggle in the beginning, especially if it's something you've never done before. That's a part of the process, but I think it'll feel that much better a few months down the line, when you can sit back and you can be like, man, I remember when I couldn't do this without help. I remember when I thought that I was going to have to give this up. I remember when I felt like a failure doing this. And now look, I may be one of the trainers. I may be one of the people that they go to. I may be one of the go-to people in this area. I think that it'll make those moments feel that much better when you get to that point of where that thing, that part of the business, whatever it is, inside and out, and you can look back. And I remember this time last year, I remember just 4 months ago, I was struggling to do this, and I didn't believe in myself, and I thought that I wasn't going to get through this, and I thought that I was going to have to give this up. And look at me now. But we have to go through that growing pain phase. We have to get through that discomfort of, man, I'm not good at this, especially if you're leaving something you were great at, but you don't want to do that anymore because you've outgrown that. And now you're going into something new and you're not good at it. So you go from the top of the totem pole to the bottom, and that's okay. Don't let your pride get in the way of your progress. Because sometimes we'll feel like, okay, I'm used to being the man, I'm used to being the woman, I'm used to being the big dog, and now I'm in a new position and I have to start from the bottom and I have to ask for help. I'm used to being the person that people come ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Ask me to help them, but now I have to ask for help because I'm in this new space and I'm drowning because I don't know this. I don't know these terms. I don't know this lingo. I don't know the layout of this company or wherever. You know, it's okay. That is okay. You're going to learn, but you got to give yourself grace. You got to understand that you're going to have to go through those growing pains. You're going to have to go through that discomfort, those hard times. You're going to have to go through whatever pains that you're going to have to go through to get to where you want to be. And then once you get there, you'll be able to look back and be like, man, because I didn't give up, because I believed in myself, because I came to work or I came to school, whatever it is, every single day, look at where I am now. Look at how much I've grown. Look at how much better I've become. Look at how you see yourself now as opposed to how you saw yourself back then. It's all a part of the process. And again, I know that it's not easy, but it can be done. And you, as I always say, you are worth it. You are worth the work that you're going to have to put in. You are worth the pain that you're getting ready to go through. You are worth the discomfort that you're getting ready to go through. You are worth it. Your future self will thank you. The person I am now, thanks the person that I was back then, because I know it was so much harder for the person I was back then to get started. So I'm so thankful that I started back then. I'm so thankful that I pushed through those hard times. I'm so thankful that I pushed through all those leg days, because I'm here where I am now, 100 pounds down, 100 pounds lighter, because the person that I was back then didn't give up. And I'm so thankful and I'm so appreciative of the hard work that I've put in from then to now. I wouldn't even recognize myself. Old me wouldn't recognize this version of me. You know what I'm saying? The version that goes to the gym who's been going to the gym nonstop, hasn't missed a day, don't miss a beat, don't complain, just get up and do it, who's intense, who's being intentional and intensive with my workouts. That version of me wouldn't recognize this version of me, but I thank that version of me every single day because that version of me didn't give up. Did that version of me have hard days? Hell yeah. There were the days where that version of me unfortunately didn't get out of bed but could have. Yeah. But ultimately, he didn't give up. And now I'm in the position that I'm in because he didn't. And I'm very thankful. And I know a year from now, I want to be able to do the same thing and thank this version of me where I am today. I want my future self to be able to thank because I'm not going to give up. So I'm asking y'all, I'm telling y'all, and I'm pleading with y'all, y'all don't give up on yourselves because your future self will appreciate everything that you're doing for yourself right now, for your future and for your family's future. So keep pushing. Don't be afraid of those hard times. Don't be afraid of that discomfort. It's a part of growing. Go through those growing pains and get to where you want to be. But that's it for today's episode. I want to thank everybody for listening on whatever platforms y'all are listening on. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the downloads. And to everybody watching on YouTube, I thank y'all too. I appreciate all the love and all the comments and all the likes that I've been getting. So please continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time we meet, y'all already know, stay blessed.